Hey guys, Randall here, Bragging Rights Precision Reloading. Today we're going to go over a few dies and see the differences in their ability to properly beld the case on 9mm and which ones work the best. 9mm always seems to be a little bit of a debate between everybody because you have the catch on the way back down with your handle, which is just the seating die trying to straighten out the bell. Anyways, we got the Lyman 38 Auto, 38 Super 9mm Luger, and this is the neck expanding M Die. It works similar to the factory that comes in with the Hornady 9mm Luger. It goes a little deeper, and of course we're going to try out the Lee universal case expanding die. Now, between the three of them, 2 out of the 3 does a pretty good job. At first I thought I was going to like the Lee, and now not so much a fan after really testing it. And I think we're going to be able to show you why. I'm going to take a few measurements after we run them through the process here. So I hope this works out and you can see it okay. Alright, let's start out, go through the sizing die. Next up, it's going to be the Lee. I've already got the Lee set. We're going to mark this one with an L for Lee. Now, I hope that you can see that and it'll focus. Puts a pretty good bell on it. We'll set that over here. Next up, sizing die, and then the stock Hornady die that comes in the 3-die titanium nitrade set. That puts a little bit more subtle bell on it. It's going to allow it to sit just a little bit deeper in when you put the bullet in it, which is good because you don't want bullet wobble as it goes around. So we're going to mark our H on here for Hornady. Set that one over there. Now, last up will be the Lyman M Die. Now the Lyman M Die works a little differently than either one, the Hornady or the Lee. It puts a small amount of bell on the case itself, but it also goes deeper in and starts the seating depth as far as case expansion goes for the bullet, and it's going to allow that bullet to sit in just a little bit deeper, which is going to work out better in the end for everybody. I'm going to put a LY for Lyman. Okay, set this one aside. Now this time we're going to go through the motions of all 3. I'll go ahead and mark them ahead of time. Lee, Hornady, Lyman. This time we're going to go all the way through, and we're going to go through and seat the bullet. I'm going to start out with the Lee. Now, here is the issue with the Lee. The Lee just does not set it in there deep enough. It bells the mouth, but it allows it have too much wobble, and if you go any deeper than what I've got it set, it really bells the mouth to the point that it doesn't want to go into the seating die. So let's see. And there's exactly what I'm talking about. I prefer to have it sitting in there because I don't like getting my finger smashed. Alright, so there's the Lee. Next up, we'll go through and do the Hornady. Now the Hornady allows it to sit in a little deeper, which I like. Didn't fall out. Done and crimped. I've got it set to crimp very lightly. Alright, now let's go with the Lyman. Now the Lyman allows it to sit in deeper than the Hornady because you've already started your spread for your bullet itself, and you can't shake that bullet out of there. And there you have it for the Lyman. Alright, now let's go over here and let's look at a few things. Now for starters, again, here's the Lee. You can see how much bell it put just in the edge. It doesn't go deep enough at all. Does not like to let the bullet sit down in there very well. So the Hornady, a lot more subtle. Just doesn't quite go as deep as the Lyman. It still does a halfway decent job of letting the bullet sit in it. Now, the Lyman. I know it's hard to tell in a picture or in the video, so we're going to do some measuring. But it lets that bullet sit in there a lot deeper to start out with. I mean, it does a very, very nice job. Now, next thing up, the Lee. I don't know if I can get the right angle. It leaves quite a bit of bullet bulge. You can see it right there. Okay. With only expanding or belling the very edge of the case, it creates more tension when you go to seat the bullet. And part of that bullet bulge is not so much the width of the bullet going in, it's the amount of tension that it has to push through that brass on the downward stroke that it pushes the bullet down in to seat it. And that creates part of that bullet bulge. Now, with the Hornady, you can still see some. It is not as bad as what the Lee was. Then we get to the Lyman, and again, get it where you can see it. Very low bullet bulge. That's going to help with your feeding. That's going to help with a few things. Okay guys, welcome back. Had a little technical difficulty there. I ran out of room on my SD card. Guess I should have checked that before I started making the video. Alright, now we're going to get back to doing a little bit of math here. I'm going to start out with the Lee. We're going to check the neck tension. $375.5 thousandths. Now we're going to go for the Hornady. $376. Well, no. Looks like it came up the same. Alright, let's check the Lyman. Lyman got the same thing. So we're good on neck tension, consistent. Alright, now this is where the comes down to the wire, I guess. How well that it starts into the case for the seating process. If we're going to use the same bullet, that way we know that it's going to be consistent. So we'll measure it first. Alright, now let's measure the case on the Lee. Hornady. Sit in there flat. There we go. I have not trimmed these cases. I bought these cases already done. Alright, now let's do a little bit of math. So 747 plus 483. So we have an overall length between the two 1.23. Now let's do the Hornady. 0.750 483 equals 1.233. Now let's do the Lyman. 749 483. 1.232. Alright, so that's the total length of the bullet and the cases. Now here's what we want to do. We want to see how far down in there that sits. And with the Lee, it's very hard to even get it to go down in there enough to test it. Try to get it as straight as possible. .175. Do the same thing on the Hornady. A little easier. 1.145. All right. Now for the Lyman. 1.141. Alright, now let's do the math. Start out with the Lee. I'm going to do 1.23 minus 1.175. So that bullet sat into the case with the Lee expander. 55 thousandths, not a lot. Hornady, 1.233 minus 1.145. This one sat in 88 thousandths. Last but not least, the Lyman, 1.232 minus 1.141, and it sits the deepest at 91 thousandths. Alright, that's going to make for a good difference on how well these bullets load, the way that the Lyman M Die opens up the end of that case, and again makes it easier for the seating die and the crimp to happen. So next up, I'm going to take these apart with my kinetic hammer, which I'm going to save you guys the headache and cut the camera for that. And we're going to bring them back and we're going to look at how well the crimp went on each one. So we're going to mark the Lee, the Hornady, and I don't have a complete video if I didn't knock something over. And then of course we're going to do the Lyman. We're just going to put an X on that because I can't get an LY on that small spot. But before we do that, got my Lyman case checker. The Lee fits just fine, even with the most case bulge. Hornady fits fine. Lyman fits fine. Same thing with my Beretta Plunk test. Lee is perfect. Hornady's perfect. Lyman's perfect. This Beretta, it has a lot of room to play with. I mean, this thing will swallow about any 9mm you can put in it. It has a very loose chamber in it. These things were put out to the military and the police, and again, they just have a very forgiving chamber. A lot of other 9mm, not so much. Would some of them be affected by the Lee having the most case bulge? Possibly. I don't know if it's enough to really bother it, but I know that that bell is enough that I can tell the difference on the downstroke when I'm putting it in and out of the sizing die. And the more that catches that bell, the more that it'll actually shave the edges of your brass, and it's going to shorten your brass life a little bit. Will all three work? Absolutely. Are some better than others? Absolutely. The Lee was the worst as far as setting the bullet into the bell on the case, and then you have to guide it in with your fingers at that point. And that also, if you don't do that, or if you're using a case feeder, or not case feeder, but a bullet feeder, when it goes around to the next round, it's going to cause an issue. The Hornady did pretty good. The Lyman definitely exceeded all of them. Alright guys, we'll come back with the rest of the tail after I check the crimps. We'll see ya. Alright guys, we're back. Let's take a look and see what we've got with the crimps. Took the old kinetic hammer and went to beating. In the Lee, I'm not sure if I'm getting this properly. Let me take the camera off the chest rig. The Lee has almost no crimp mark in it, and that's because it bells the mouth so much that it just doesn't allow the pressure that the other two do. Put the proper crimp in because it's taking all that pressure to move the brass back. Okay, the Hornady, I think you can see it right there. I'm going to take some still shots and add into the video. It has a decent pronounced ring for the proper crimp. Then we go to the Lyman. Try to get the correct angle. That Lyman has a very pronounced crimp. I hope that you guys can see that on the video. Again, I'm going to take some still shots. That shows that the Lyman also, because it puts a milder bell on the case in the way that it does it to start this bullet seating process, and then it'll match it up to your actual bullet seater. Actually does the better job all the way around. It seats further, which means it starts straighter, doesn't bounce around on your machine. You know, if you're using a progressive single stage, not going to make much difference. And it allows it to get the more consistent crimp, which is very important. Okay guys, I think we see what we needed to see. The Lyman beat the factory Hornady out, although the factory Hornady did do a good job. I mean, will it work? Yes. Is the Lyman more consistent? Absolutely. The Lee, just my consideration, failed. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Happy loading, and have a blessed day.